Okay, this is what you will need for your pickles as far as pickling and canning them for delicious pickles. Okay, we'll need um, a package of the Mrs. Wedge dill pickles mix. You'll need one package. Follow the directions on the back. The next thing is you will need 12 large salad cucumbers, not the canning cucumbers, regular cucumbers. And then you will need to cut them to size. Be sure to drain them for 2 to 4 hours in the refrigerator with salt and ice. This helps the water to drain out of your pickles to make them more crisp. So anyway, this is what they look like when they come out of the fridge. I put mine in strainers, as you can see, and I put a little bowl underneath there just to kind of keep them from soaking in the water. But basically, this is what they look like. They're all different sizes. I don't stick to any rules as far as cutting. I'm not in competition. If I were, that'd be a different story. But anyway, this is kind of like a baby wedge, and these are like bite-sized, half-size pickles, moon shape, whatever you want to call them. But I got those ready. We're just waiting, and I've got my brine already done. I poured it into a gallon container, and I'm still letting that cool. It's almost room temperature, not quite, but we still got a little bit before we get to that point. And you will need a towel to sit your jars on when they come out of the water bath. These are your lids, of course, and they come apart. And the best way I've found to do these is put them all in the water like so, with the rims and the seal. Because if you don't, you're messing around trying to get the seal and the rim, and it's just easier to grab it all at once. Some people say boil these, some people say don't. So it's just a matter of preference, what you feel safe with doing for your family. And I've got my water bath going right here. As you can see, my jars are sterilizing, but my cucumbers probably still like about another hour, because I've noticed down in the bottom that I've still got a little bit of water draining off of them. So I'm going to let these soak for about another hour outside the refrigerator. You can let them soak overnight, like I said, if you want. What I do is probably, I would say, about, for this much cucumbers, which is 2 bowls, I usually do about 2 tablespoons of salt to about a cup of ice over the top of each one. Now this one's a little more fuller, but it's because I took some out of here and put it over here. Anyway, we will get back to processing and all that good stuff when we come back. So enjoy until then. Okay, we're back. We're getting ready to can. I've got my lids and rings in hot water. Usually just a couple of minutes or so, like maybe 5 at the most, for sterilizing them and heating the seals, which are the little orange things around the flat part of the lid. Ouch, that's hot. Okay, we're going to start canning these up into the jars, which I have right here. They've already been sterilized. I've got my little funnel, and I've poured my pickle juice into an old tea thing, or, well, it's water. This just makes it easier for pouring into the jars once we get the pickles or the cucumbers inside the jars. Also, you'll need a grabber. You'll need one of these to get the air bubbles out of your cucumbers once you poured the brine into them. Also, this here is a little neat thing for a lot of people who don't know it. It's already got measuring things on the side of it, and this does loosen apart. Well, not loosen, comes apart It screws off and on for easy cleaning. But a lot of people don't realize that there are little numbers on here to keep you from overfilling the jars. But that's what the end of this little tool does as well. It helps to keep you from overfilling your jars. Okay, let me get these pickles into the jars and I'll show you the next step. Okay, this is what they look like once they've been put into the jars, the cucumbers. Now I'm ready to pour the brine into them. I did add some dill and a little bit of extra seasoning to the package of stuff that I had bought. If you choose to use one of the packages for your pickles, this is the one I used, which is the dill pickle, and it's Mrs. Wedge. There's instructions on the back, so you won't get very lost. The only thing I can tell you on this is to let the pickles drain of water before you do this brine in them, because if you don't, you'll have mushy pickles. Now if you're doing a homemade brine, it doesn't matter. You can pour those straight into the jars. You don't have to de-water them, so to say, but you will need to use a crisper, which is a pickle crisper, and that is this here, and it does make very good pickles, but it's a pickle crisper, and it's just pull shock, and it's just a little bit in the bottom of the jar before you put the pickles in. And basically I like using that recipe because I don't have to wait on the cucumbers to de-water, and they do come out very lovely. At least I think so. And this is a jar I just made last week, so it's, I mean, they look like pickles. They're all different shapes, like I said before. Okay, let me finish pouring this brine in here so we can get it into the water bath to process. Okay, as you can see on these here, they have peppers and dill and basil leaves. These are the ones that are made with homemade brine, and you don't have to de-water the pickles or the cucumbers. They're made with pickle crisp, and you can find just about anything on the internet for these, and I am going to make a video of these. And also I've got my pickles into the water bath, and we got the timer set. So as soon as they come out, we'll have pickles from cucumbers, not canning cucumbers, just regular cucumbers. And I think next week I'm going to try to do some jams and jellies and let y'all see what y'all think about it. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hope to, oh, excuse me, sorry, lost train of thought. Well, have happy cookings, and hope you enjoy your pickles if you decide to go with the homemade brine or the package, which is the one we just got through doing. Just remember, you've got to de-water the cucumbers if you're using regular cucumbers. And if you need any information on that, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, we're back, and our pickles are done. Our timer has went off. I'm trying to grab my little tool here so that I can get these out, and hopefully, oh, let me go back over here for just one moment and straighten my little thing out. And if you don't know, this here is a little lid catcher, and what it does is it's got a magnet on the end of it, as you can see, and it grabs the lids for you. That actually came apart a while ago. It was one I didn't need, and it grabs the lid all at once for you. So that's a very handy tool, and you can get the whole set at Walmart for like $5 or $6. They're not real expensive. But let me grab my canner. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way I was showing y'all earlier. Let me grab my picker, and we'll take these out of the water bath. And a lot of times you can hear them sizzling. Now I let these sit in here a couple of minutes extra, but you see how green those are? Those are super green. So you don't get that look if your brine is too hot when you put it into the cucumbers. That's the other thing I was going to mention. is make sure that your brine is cool to room temperature. Do not try to use it if it's still hot, because it will discolor your pickles and make them look kind of brownish. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They'll just look kind of brownish if you don't let the brine cool to room temperature. And these are still kind of bubbling, and you may be able to see it, I'm not sure, but that is what they look like once they come out of the water bath. And I take a little paper towel and I drain off the excess water, which is sitting on the top of there, as you can tell. And this here pickle, my grandkids and like it. My husband don't really like it. He says they're too pickly, but you know how kids are. They like anything pickly. Let me get a paper towel. Wipe these rims off real quick. I've got such hard water. I hate leaving the water on these, and I just kind of pick it up. I don't really mess with the can too much. I just let the paper towel absorb it. Once you get your pickles out, you'll let them cool for a few hours, and they'll be ready to eat. And well, they're actually ready to eat as soon as you want. I usually let mine sit for about a week before I open them, but I do so much of this that they usually don't last the week around my house anyway. Also, the other step I was going to mention to you was, before you do the process of putting the lids on, you see the empty jar. Before you put the lids on, after you get the lids out of your water bath, they have to have a water bath too, for sterilization and to help them seal properly. You'll want to, once you get everything in there, the pickles and the brine, before you put the lid on and the sealer, take and wipe your jar clean. Make sure you do this process, because if you don't, you will have some bad looking pickles when you go to open them up, and you'll go, what did I do wrong? Well, you forgot this step here. And it can also, if you forget this step and you've got any of that juice, you won't get a good seal, and you'll be going, what did I do wrong? Well, that's what you did wrong. You didn't wipe your jar on the inside before you put the seal on. So always make sure of that. That's a rule of thumb. You don't skip that one. But anyway, this is my pickles, and I just made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jars out of 12 regular cucumbers. They were fairly large. Our grocery store had them on sale, 2 for 50 cents. So I can't beat that, not for pickles anyway. A big thing like this will cost you $3 at the store, and if you get the generic kind, they're kind of funky, people. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and happy cooking.